Hello, this is a quick video showing how I polish the Hesalite on my Omega Speedmaster Pro. So first thing you're going to need is some PolyWatch. This stuff is fairly inexpensive. You can get a really big supply in this little tube, and it's amazing how well it works. The other thing you'll need is one of these like terry cloths. I typically buy 12 at a time from the auto parts store, and it works great. Just make sure it's clean, that you didn't pick up any lint with it, you didn't drop it on the floor, because Hesalite will scratch. So I have a tiny little scratch on the end here. It's actually kind of a deep one. I don't know that PolyWatch will get it out, but I'm gonna go ahead and try anyway. So what I do is I typically wrap this, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. So I wrap this around my finger like this. So I just make it tight right here. And what I do is I grab a little bit of a PolyWatch and I put it right on the end here. Just a tiny bit is all you need, just that little bit. That's why this tube will go a very long way. And then I take the watch and I find the spot where I want to polish, and initially I'll just lay some down, and I try to keep it off the middle because you may not be aware, but in the very middle of the Hesalite there's a tiny Omega logo, and you don't want to rub that off if you can keep from doing that. So what I do is I find that spot, and it's right about over here, and I just rub in circles. I'm not pushing very hard. You don't need to. This stuff actually will do the work for you. So I just rub it in circles like this. And then every once in a while, I'll just go around the entire side, and I just make sure that I stay away from the middle because, like I said, I don't want to mess with that Omega logo in the Hesalite. And I'm also making sure to not go too far down the sides. I don't want to start taking the finish off the outside of the watch. So just nice little circular motions. I'm just giving it the same pressure that I used to give my boots when I would spit shine them when I was in the Marines, which is to say it's just enough to keep your finger down on the Hesalite, but not so much that you're pushing hard. You don't need to push hard. So depending on how deep the scratch is that you're working out, if they're just your average everyday scratches, or maybe you accidentally banged into a door frame while you're walking by, you know how sometimes it'll put that scuff mark on the watch, grabbing some of this PolyWatch and your little terry towel like I have here, and just a little bit of time will make it come right out. Like I said, I'm working on a spot that's pretty deep. I was walking by a door and I got a little too close to the door frame and knocked the watch right into it. And in so doing, knocked a pretty decent sized little divot into the side of the Hesalite. Now, I still see it. It's still there. It's in a kind of bad spot because it's right along the edge, and I'm trying to not get any of this PolyWatch onto the black portion of the watch here. But even though it's not completely gone, it is making it a lot better. I can already see that it's not nearly as visible. It doesn't stand out nearly as much anymore. So when I'm done with the buffing, I just kind of rub that like that. And you can see the finish that it gives is just phenomenal. It just really smooth things out. And I can still see the spot on the bottom here where I've kind of banged it. And maybe if I sit here and spend more time concentrating on that corner, it could go away. But honestly, this is very nice. Any minor scratches that were in that area are completely gone now. And this Hesalite looks brand new, and I can see, I don't know if I can make it show up. Yeah, you can see right in the middle. you can see that Omega logo is still there, nice and crisp. Looks beautiful. So, if you have scratches in your Hesalite or any other plexiglass on a watch, this stuff right here, PolyWatch, and one of these little, some people call them microfiber, some people call them like a terry cloth or whatever. It's these inexpensive cloths you get at the auto parts store, typically 12 for $4 or $5 or whatever. They're very inexpensive. I use those. So anyway, hope this helps.